Okay, moving on to character breakdown. So I want to start out here shouting out the graphics. A lot of them come from Toon Boom Learning. So thank you, Toon Boom, for putting out that documentation so that I can show the kiddos what to do. And also shout out to Slides Go for these adorable slides. Definitely check out Slides Go if you need anything for a presentation. This is not a paid advertisement. I just want to give them credit where credit is due. All right, so moving on to character breakdown. No, they are not having a crisis. No, they have not experienced trauma. We are breaking down the character into pieces and analyzing what needs to move on them. Okay, so here's kind of an exploded view of this character. Thank you, Toon Boom, again. So we're taking this guy, breaking him down into all the parts and pieces that we're going to be animating. Okay, you have to sit there and look at it and be like, all right, what things needs to move, okay? Look at his hair. His hair is obviously going to be really flowy and movie because there's so many pieces of it, all right? There's his hairline right there, okay? So again, you have to ask yourself, what do you want control over? And then how are you going to break it up? He's got a bunch of stuff going on. He's got like a knee pad. I really want to know what the story is behind these characters because they're really cool looking. Okay. You may want to break other pieces into further parts. For example, the eyes, right? We want to get a lot of expression, so we need to make sure that the eye is very controllable. So you'll want to split it up into the eyelid, the eyeball, and the pupil. So you want to break the eyes down into several pieces so that you have more control over the expression, right? Our eyes are very expressive. The way that we, how wide they're open, how narrow they're open, that'll all read as emotion. So we want to break that stuff down. We also want to break down the pupil to control where the character might be looking. So that is something you also want to be able to animate. And we'll break down the eyes again when I do the rig template. So we'll see that. Sometimes you want to create nightmare fuel and break apart the mouth and the jaw to get more expression, right? Because our jaws move when we talk. Okay, so maybe you want to really sell that this character is speaking. He's got a pretty prominent chin, so that would, it would be helpful to have the chin as a separate piece. You can rotate on its own. Of course, you want the mouth separately. You can even break the mouth up into even more pieces if you want to. We're going to explore the mouth more when we do drawing substitutions. All right, I know that's creepy, but it's funny. Okay, it's funny. So for hands, for the sake of our sanity, and oftentimes they keep this as a whole unit instead of breaking it down into a bunch of pieces. If you've done 3D rigging before, definitely you'll have more control over the hand. But for this, I think it's just easier if we use drawing substitutions. Okay, just get the poses you need. All right, overlap. So when we're breaking down, when we bring this into Toon Boom, when we start drawing all these pieces, some pieces we may want to extend into other pieces. Remember, they're layered, so you're not really going to see all this. It's going to look like a solid picture. But we want to be able to move or have range of motion with our characters without breaking it. Okay, so as you can see here, with the overlap, it looks kind of funky, right? We've got this chicken neck thing going on. But when we tilt the head, it has room to fill in the gap. Whereas if we don't add that overlap, we look like we just cut his neck in half. Okay. We don't want to do axe murder things to our poor characters. So try to make sure there's overlap. You can always go back and add to it in the drawing layer. If you decide, oopsie, I didn't add enough, you can always go back to the drawing layer and add more. That's kind of the flexibility that 2D rigging has, which is pretty nice. Coming from 3D, you don't have that level of flexibility quite so much with changing the model. It's a lot harder.